Lesson plan is for fourth graders, and the cheat that I chose was rounding to a given place value up to the hundred thousandths place using whole numbers. The reason why I chose this teak is because a lot of the time students struggle with rounding. That's one of the biggest things, and as they go up to the higher grades, they're gonna have to be rounding decimals, which might make it more difficult if they don't know how to round whole numbers first. And the strategy that I'm going to be using or focusing on is one of the strategies that we actually learned in school, but in the school that I'm at, we kind of changed it a little bit, and it's five or more, add one more, four or less, let it rest, where we add one more to the one that we're rounding to. If it's five or more, if the number that we're using to see if it rounds up or down is five or more, or is it four or less. And the way that we're going to be doing this is I'm going to be using a dry erase board and different colored dry erase board markers. And this activity and lesson is going to be more hands-on and discussion rather than having them write on paper. So the entire time the lesson is going to focus on each given place value, so the ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000, and 100,000s. And me and the student are going to be doing it together. So I'm going to give them a number on the dry erase board marker, and I'm going to say, okay, this number you have to round to the tens place. And I'm going to show them how to round first. I'm going to do the example with them first, and it's going to be where they have to underline the number that they're going to round and draw an arrow to the number that they're using to see if it rounds up or down, and that number is going to be circled. And if there are other numbers after the number that we're using to round, they're going to circle them as well, and the circles are going to represent that they will be turning into zeros. And then the numbers before the place value that was given, those numbers are going to stay the same. So we're going to focus on, because a lot of the time when they see a huge number, even though they're only rounding to the tens place, they think that they have to round the entire number, so each number has to change. So I think that we had to focus on letting them know that the numbers before the given place value that they have to round to has to stay the same, and then the numbers after the number that you use to round to, that number and the numbers after, they turn into zeros. And throughout the whole lesson, everything's just going to be on dry erase board markers, focusing on every given place value, and afterwards to assess if they learned what I was teaching them. I have these cutout numbers, and they're going to create their own numbers 10 times, and for each given number I'm just going to give them a place value that they have to round to. And I will be expecting them to use the strategies like underlining, circling, and also the main strategy, which is saying the chant to five or more, add one more, four or less, let it rest. So that is my lesson.